Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the penultimate day of FIDE Grand Swiss 2021. This is Sagar Shah and a very warm welcome to everyone in the chat. We are going to have a great time today watching the games of some of the best players in the world, especially India's Sasikiran is right there at the top and has chances to qualify for the candidates. A very warm welcome to everyone here and let's get it cracking. So let's go to Sasikiran's game. There has been some issue, I believe, with the game because it is kind of stuck at this point. Yeah, does anyone know what is happening here? Sashi lost, Srijan says. Is that true? Gaming Star says Sashi slightly better. I actually checked the games on different platforms and everywhere it is stuck on this point. So I'm not sure. And also the moves seem like, they were played. Yeah, Sashi's game is not visible. So e4, c5. He's playing against Andrei Esipenko. He went d6. Bishop b5 check. 2700 chess. It shows he's lost. Really? I didn't check there, but yeah, true. On that side, it's showing that he's lost. But over here, so knight d7 was played by Shashi. And generally, guys, whenever you play knight d7, you are fighting for like the full point. When you play bishop d7, this is more solid. So Sasikiran said, okay, I'll fight in this game. Bishop went back to e2. Many times, they move the bishop back so that a6, b5 does not, gain tempo on the bishop. So he went back, knight f6, knight c3, b6, d4, cd, knight. Oh, he took with the queen, bishop b7. Now we are in some kind of open Sicilian territory. Bishop g5, e5, queen e3 over here in this position. And now he played bishop e7, very logical. Rook d1, queen to c7, bishop takes f6, knight takes on f6, bishop b5 check. And here Sasikiran realized that, this check, he doesn't want to put his bishop in between or the knight in between because it weakens the control of the d5 square. So he moved his king away here. And I think later on he can play h6, g6 and put his king on g7. I'm not playing directly g6 because this check would be a bit irritating. So h6, g6 and going that way. Bishop a4 was played in the game. Bishop a6 in the position, stopping white from castling. Bishop b3. And now rook went to c8. And in this position, Esipenko went knight d5, knight takes d5, and rook takes d5. And this is where it has been stuck for like an hour or so. I don't know what's happening. Does anyone have a clue? 2700 chess has the game and it says Sasikiran lost on move 36. But Srijan, I think that's the wrong game over there. It shows some different game and I don't think that was Sasikiran's game. So maybe it's a wrong game that is there. Oh, no, maybe that is the right game. This is the wrong game. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. Got it. D4, actually it was the wrong game which I showed you right now. Just now it changed. I don't know. Maybe and actually Sasikiran has already lost his game. My god. My God, what happened? What happened? So it was not even e4. We were looking at e4, but actually it was d4. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, cd, ed. So it was the Ragozin bishop f4 line, which is not very popular. Castles, castles e3, c6, bishop d3, bishop g4, queen b3 now, attacking the bishop and also attacking the pawn. I think this move bishop g4 somehow slightly dubious. Queen b3, queen b6, knight e5. Okay, I have a question here. If I go here, so firstly taking this might be risky because of bishop f4, and somehow if you take ef4, rook e8 check, and it's risky. And if you take queen a8, there is a very typical move in this position. Can you tell me what it is black to play? Shashi not lost. This game is wrong. This is not the game. Okay, guys. Leeches is also playing. Oh, now they reverted. Bhai sahab, kya chal raha hai? They are reverting from one game to another. He's not lost. This is the game. Now, what I showed you was the game. They are changing again and again. It's like they're playing games with me. Yeah, queen b6 was the game. Oh, this is Adhiban game, they are saying. Okay. So, firstly, h5 is what Sasikiran played. Guys, we are in the game. Okay. Back. Now, king d1 by Esipenko. Esipenko is like, I don't want to allow him to... I can't castle anyway because of this bishop. So, let me tuck my king to c1 and get the rook. So, it's a weird no castling game. It's weird. So, rook h6. ये शायद से सही गेम है. Let's see. h3. Sasikiran went king g8. King c1. Bishop c4, offering a trade. Rook went back. Shashi played b5. And this is the position on the board. Sasikiran has... Sasikiran has now 3 minutes. 20 moves have been completed, and I think now the clocks are also working. Everything is fine. So this is the position. You know, I got very scared that he lost the game, but king b1 by Esipenko. Okay, guys, what do you think should Sasikiran play? He has 3 minutes 45 seconds. If he wins today, he has great chances of finishing second or even first. You know, you never know. But if he loses, I think he's out. If he draws, he might still have chance by winning tomorrow. What would you play in this position? No, guys, Esipenko has not won. Has not lost, no? Hopefully this is the game that we are seeing. Yes, Shreyan Gaming, Arush Kaushik, Achyut Nanda, a5. I like your move, guys. I like your move. And I think Sasikiran will also play a5. कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है कि we are not even finding the right game. Ajish Ramanujan, Jishnu Bhatkar, very good. Budaditya Bhattacharya, Rishita Roy. So a5 is what I believe will be the move. Yeah, it's still move 20. They have thought, oh, he's played a5. Good job, guys. Good job. a5 on the board. Now Esipenko has to think. How many moves till time control? 19 more moves. He has to play 19 moves in 3 minutes. So now, somewhere, Shashi wants to push a4. You know, can anyone tell me how can white get an advantage by just rerouting one piece? Which is that one piece which is not on a good square for white? If it were on another square, it would have been better. Jishnu Bhutkar. Okay, got it. Bhutkar. Knight, Mohit, Guru Mukhani, Shivansh, you are absolutely right. Knight is not well placed on f3. Where should the knight be? Where should the knight be, guys? Vinay Kadam, Bondita Bhagwati. Where should the knight be? Soham Kamotra has said it very rightly that the knight should be on d5. But remember, any square which is one, for the knight, when the square is one square diagonally away, it is very difficult to transfer the knight. It takes 3 moves. Sorry, it takes 4 moves to reach there. Anyhow, so like, let's say if I go here, 4 moves. Or here, and here. So it's very far away. And all of you who are asking कि top boards पे क्या चल रहा है, एक बार फटाफट देख लेते हैं so that we get to know what's happening on the top boards. Whoa, what a game between Howell and अरे बाप रे अलीरेजा फिरूजा. My God. एक मिनट देखते हैं. So क्या थोड़ा स्टार्ट से देखते हैं फटाफट. E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Italian normal सब Italian. Means normal knight ko d2. See, what is Italian? You get your knight from d2 to f1 to g3. He gets here. All that is very common now. You guys are experts at this opening. And now, so white usually tries for d4 break. He went d4. Knight g6. Bishop e3. Rook e8. Bishop d3. Bishop b6. A3, Queen C7, Rook C1, Bishop A5, Rook E2. तो पूरा ऐसे दोनों घुमा रहे हैं, like both are playing अंदर. But finally D5 आ गया. Knight D4. Oops, sorry. Knight D4, Bishop D7, Knight D F5, Bishop C7, ED, CD, Bishop D4. So now white is suddenly, after the Italian stuff got completed, the knight is well placed, the bishop is well placed. So Bishop E5. Now this was a mistake by Howell. And so Firuza took on H6. But this was the second strongest move. Here the strongest move was to take on E5, Knight E5. And then play Knight D6 with a brutal fork here. And that would have been nice. But okay, Knight H6 makes a lot of sense. He took. Now came Bishop G6. Because abhi problem kya hua dosto ki if he takes here, then this is hanging. So he took on G3. Another question is what happens if you take here? What is the problem? White to play. What do you do? What is the problem here? White to move. Queen D4. Abhinav Anand, Amrit Menda. The move is Queen takes D4. And why is this better? Imagine that this knight is hanging. So let's say you take here. Then I take Queen F6. And I recover my piece. So that's the reason why this works. Correct. Goblet fire. You are right. So here he took on G3. So Alireza took on E8. Rook takes E8. Because he figured that if he went Knight E8, then Queen H5 and it's very strong. This is over. So he went Rook takes. Now Howell, Alireza played Queen F3. And here Alireza was like, ye bhi mar raha hai, ye bhi mar raha hai. If he takes here, I will take Queen F6. And then, there is a mating attack here. But here Howell stunned Alireza with the next move. What did black play in this position, guys? Can you find it? What did black play in this position? Let's use the chat chess moves for this one. Also guys, if you are enjoying this commentary, please do subscribe. If we can reach 300 people today, we will reach 780k, which would be nice. Fabiano and MVL have drawn. Yes, the move that was played here, and many of you have already seen it, is Queen C6. Thank you for being honest. Many of you said we have seen it, and honesty is the best policy. So well done, guys. Queen C6 was played in this position by David Howell, which is amazing move. Because now, think about it. If you take Rook takes C6, Rook E1 is a checkmate. Back rank mate हो गया. And अगर ये भी नहीं मर रहा है अभी, like if you take Queen F6, then Queen C1 is a back rank mate. And you have defended your knight. So actually, now White has only one move to save himself here. And actually to save the position. Can you find it? White to play. This is a tough one. How should White play? It's a very tough point now. Knight is defended here. Bishop you can't take because your rook is hanging. It's all confusing. Your bishop here is hanging. Presently, how many moves in this game? 9 moves are left. Yeah, the move is a very, very brutal move, which many of you have found. But guys, don't use the engine. Please think on your own. It's very important that you think with your mind. Bishop C2, Dexter, Abhinav, Abhinav Anand, Yash, Rohit, Swapna, Master Adi, Hemant Kumar, Saurabh Tiwari and Deepak Kannan. The move here is Bishop to C2. And what happens is now this is hanging. And this is hanging. And if you take Queen C2 and you are expecting कि Rook C2 मारेगा and इधर mate कर देंगे, तो he will take here on G3 check. And then you can drop your queen back and then he will take on F6 and then he will take on G3 and could be a draw. And draw is actually pretty good result for Sasikiran if he manages to win. So this game is still very complicated. Howell has just 34 seconds left. So he has to be very careful here. Amazing save by him to find Queen C6. MVL versus Caruana already ended in a draw with 54 moves. Very surprising that they made so many moves so quickly. Vitugo versus Oparin. Wow, Oparin is winning. Oparin is exchange up for now. And Oparin is also on 6 points like Shashi. So he's better here. And here Yu Yangi versus Shirov is around equal. Maybe slightly better for Alexei Sherov. But this pawn is very dangerous. Alexander Predke versus Anton Guyaro looks like a draw. Savian and Sargsyan drew. And now coming back to Sasikiran's game. So, we saw till A5 in this position. Now, Esipenko took. Sasikiran took with the queen. Queen E2. And now, Shashi went rook to G6. This is getting very interesting now. Because what is Esipenko going to do? Oh, I am basically not... sorry, guys. I have been showing you the wrong board. Big board, big board. Sorry. Very sorry. So here Queen C4. Sorry, very... I was just in that thought ki kya chal raha hai. Okay, Rook G6. He went Rook G1. And now Sasikiran quickly pushed his pawn to A4. We are on move number 24. Sasikiran has... I think Shashi has to be careful, yeah. Although his position is completely fine, he is statically worse because of his bishop being very bad. Because of these pawns. So he has to tread slightly carefully in this position. So here now queen A. What would Esipenko do? I think Esipenko might go A3. And I'm just wondering how should Shashi create play in this position. What I'm thinking, just so that you take, and the move that I was looking at is rook f8. The idea is to play f5 because f5 is a very natural way to generate counterplay. If he plays g4, then you can take, and maybe go rook h6 trying to enter via here. So these are some of the possibilities. Bishop can go to d8 to a5, says Buddhaditya Bhattacharya. That's right, Buddhaditya. That is very good idea. Also, your d6 pawn is controlled, so it's not really hanging. You are right. You're right. Sarthak, maybe bishop g5, not a bad idea as such, but right now it's white to play. So Esipenko is now coming down to 8 minutes. Shashi has 2 minutes on the clock. What's happening with Sanan, Sjugirov and Harikrishna? Sanan has just sacrificed his knight on h6. Very interesting move. If g takes h6, he most likely wants to take here. Now he's threatening the knight. You can't move the knight because there is a check coming here. So maybe we bring back our knight here. Then check. And this is a draw which we saw. This is very similar to a game we saw recently, guys. Do you remember which game we saw this? Knight takes h. It was knight takes h3. It was a little bit ulta kind of a thing. Which one? Meanwhile, Vincent has beaten Alexienko and Nihal Sarin drew with the black pieces against Fedoseev, which is a good result, I would say, for Nihal. Yes, Nihal Sarin versus Param Maksudlu. Exactly. That is the game. You guys have great memory. Keep it up, guys. And all of you who are following these streams carefully are also, I'm sure, getting stronger. Oh, meanwhile, what happened after Queen C6 here? He went Bishop C2. He played that move. And now Howell played Bishop B8. He didn't play this Queen takes C2 line. I think Queen takes C2 was better than what happened in the game. So now after Queen takes F6, takes, Ali Reza is saying that, look, I am pawn up. D4. Wow. Howell's idea is very, very smart. If you take here, he wants to play a very good move here. How many of you can find what's the good move for black in this position? Black to play. It's not easy. It's not easy. Be careful. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Very careful. What's the move? Let's see how many can find it. Is 4 draws better or 2 wins and 2 losses? Shreyas Prabhu. I think generally in such tournaments, 4 draws are better than 2 wins and 2 losses. Because when you lose, you get a lower rated player. And when you are drawing, you get players who are equal to or above your rating. See, everyone was fooled. Everyone was fooled here. It's a question of small details. Let me see who's got it right. The people who have got it right are very few. And they are these people. Veer Singh, Siddharth Bhatt, Ajish, Ramanujan, Dhruv Kaswala, Soham Kamotra, Abhinav, Sarthak, Alok, Rohan, Savita Chess. Excellent job. The point is that Bishop F5 here. after bishop c2, bishop c3, you do not win a piece. While if you played first bishop f4, you will remove the rook from here. And if he plays bishop e3, you can now take fe3 and bishop f5 when you are better in the position. देखा कितना subtle था. You guys missed this bishop c3 backward moves. You missed. So d4, Alireza quietly said, "Bhai, मेरे को दिख रहा है ये मर रहा है. You are going to play bishop f4." So he played his bishop to d2. That is what Alireza did. And now I would say Alireza is clearly better, guys. क्योंकि he's pawn up. This is a weakness. This is a weakness. He's going to win this. He's going to win this. Meanwhile, let's quickly go to Sasikiran's game back as to what is he up to. So after rook g1, a4, Shashi took with the rook, which was logical. He went rook e2, defending the e4 pawn and also creating this idea of knight d2 here. We talked about this entire sequence. So bishop d8 has been played by Sasikiran. Now Esipenko has 6 minutes. Shashi has 1 minute 28 seconds. 14 more moves to be completed. The reason why this knight maneuver is not working is, let's say if you go knight d2, I go back rook c8 and knight f1. Now it's very important to make one move for black. What should black play? Yes, Tushar Khanna, I checked 2700 chess and the website is showing the wrong result there. What should white play in this position? Yes, Soham Kamotra, Aniket Kalgara, Shivang Gupta, Rakesh Pai, Som, Shaunak Vaidya, Chinmaya Mishra, Abhishek Prakash, Abhi, Arush, Savita Chess, Sharvil, Abhijit, Harsh Dattani. The move here is bishop b6, stopping knight e3, so that when the knight comes here, you can actually chop it off. You really don't want the knight coming to d5. It's a juicy square. It's a weak square from where the knight cannot be removed. And so you want to take it out. So that's why Sasikiran went bishop d8. Right now the position is equal. But I can say that it's not very drawish. There is a difference between drawish and equal positions. Drawish positions are like, that these are the way, मतलब एक set kind of line होगा वहां पे. There are not many possibilities. But in equal positions, although it's equal now, there are many probabilities. Like, black can aim for f5 break, black can go h4, clamp down the position, black can bring his king up, white can go for c3, maybe bring his king up, he can go b3. There are many possibilities. Now, look at this, knight e1. Now, this we did not think, but guys, maybe Sasikiran has a chance here. He has two interesting moves. Knight e1 was not a good idea by Esipenko. One of the ideas is to play a3, but I think when you are under time pressure, you don't really want to play a move like a3. The point being that if you play b3, then I can, this entire thing is in black's favor. So let's see if he manages to push a3. The other option also interesting is rook d4. But I think a human move is also h4. Travel with Nikhil Roshan, thank you for your super chat. I'll read it in some time. b4 says Akshay Mohan. Also looks good, Akshay. He goes bishop a5. Nice. Interesting move. I think a rook endgame, pure rook endgame, is slightly favorable for black. Because of the, the pawn structure. And then the king comes up here. f5 and d5 possibilities. And also these pawns are a little bit cramped for space because of the two black pawns. So bishop a5. Shashi has 56 seconds. Esipenko has 4 minutes 23 seconds. What should white do in this position now? C3 would be a horrible move, I think, because of jaldi guys. Cyber Dragon says knight is better than bishop due to the black pawns on black squares. Yes, but somehow the knight is also not a very happy creature. C3 is a blunder here, not b4. Mohit Guru Mukhani and Kamal Vijay Ram, not really. Something much better than b4 here. Yes, Ashish, Kosti, Shivam Mittal, Rutvik Raikar, Sanjay PD, Nitin Pandey, Vivan Malpani, Prathamesh, Pritam Datta. A3 is the move. A3 is the move here. By the way, after bishop a5, Esipenko has gone for f3, which is very logical. I think if Sasikiran wants to kind of draw the game, like not push it further, he can take it. He can take here rook g e1 and maybe, then play this position. We have our first member of today, Hardik Sharma. Thank you so much, Hardik. C3 b4 is like in the last position. C3 ko b4 is okay, but a3 is stronger. That was the only reason. By the way, f3, Sasikiran did take on e1, which kind of makes white's task easier now, and h4. But now, guys, what is the reason why this position could become slightly dangerous for white, for black, is because, let's imagine I get my rook on d1, you get here rook d2, you get your king here. Now everything's safe. But I play b3, then I play king b2, and it seems as if this exchange of bishop for knight, although looks okay, gives white freer play now. Akshay Mohan says how to bring the g6 rook back into the game. Well, it's in the game, it's attacking g2, so I'm quite happy with this rook. But as Soham Kamotra says, b5, a4 look extended, and you are right. Guys, the mic is not bad. What is happening is outside my house, a lot of crackers being burst. And that's the reason why you could hear. But now then everything is fine. It was not about the mic, it's about Diwali. You don't need to tell me mic is not good. Harika drew. Yeah, Karthikeyan, I agree with you that giving up this bishop for the knight was not good. But when you have a minute on the clock, it's never easy. And now 10 more moves to be played. I think Sasikiran's chances of winning this are very minimal. Most likely draw. But also possible that he could get into some trouble. The reason why I think some trouble is because look, king b2, king a3, king b4. The white king can simply come up here and put pressure on the b5 pawn. Oh, so by the way, Sanan Sjugirov and Harikrishna Pentala agreed to a draw after knight h6, g h6, queen h6, and a lot of checks here, and they agreed to a draw. So, draw for Harikrishna, draw for Nihal Sareen, and now we are going to what about Firuza? I think Firuza will win and will take sole lead in the tournament once again, even in spite of losing to Caruana yesterday. Meanwhile, Grigory Oparin is completely winning now. He's beating Nikita Vityugov. He's attacking the rook. The c-pawn is very strong. And Alexei Shirov in some trouble against Yu Yangi. This pawn is very strong. So maybe Yu Yangi also moves to 7. I think in some ways Sasikiran's chances of finishing in the top are looking difficult, because you see, look at this: King B2, King F8, and now King A3, King B4. I think Esipenko might just convert it. It's very surprising how one move, in the entire game, your mind is saying, "Mera bishop kharab hai, white ka knight is better." And so the moment you get this chance, you say to yourself, let me take this. But it's like those moments, no, what you have been looking for in your life, when you get it, you feel a bit purposeless. That is exactly what happened here. It was more important to perhaps, make moves like rook d4, knight d3. Now b4 with the idea of b3, and let's say if he goes b3, then you play a3. And even though here it might seem like, oh, this is not so good, your bishop is become even bad, the point is that white is also very passive. He cannot really move his knight somewhere. This pawn is under pressure from the g rook. So this exchange of bishop for the knight proved to be not so good. How is a3 after f3? That's also possible actually. It was much better than what happened in the game. b3, you go rook d4. Same thing, yeah. After knight here, you play bishop b6. Keep this bishop in the position. It's actually a good one on b6 square. So rook g1, h4, b3, rook c6, king f8, a3, king e7. His idea is that if you take here, I'll go rook a6. And now I think Esipenko will go king b4, attacking b5. That's what most likely he will do. And PRT says, meanwhile, Vantika is winning again, which would take her to 6 out of 10, gaining more than 40 elo in this tournament. Let's have a look at Vantika's game, if we can. Vantika, oh, she's playing Buksa. Vantika is playing with the black pieces, and Buksa has her rook here. She's played her rook to g4. What happens if you take here? Oh, what happens if you take this, guys? Can you find it? Black to play. What a move by Vantika. Yeah, I forgot to read the super chat. So while you are typing in this move, I will read the super chat. Let's see. What was the super chat by Nikhil Roshan? Nikhil Roshan said, कौन होगा तुझसे ज्यादा प्यारा, मेरी हर बात को हंस के सह लेता है, कल तक कौन था मैं तेरा भला, यह तेरा प्यार ही है जो मुझे हर हक देता है. लव यू. थैंक यू. दैट्स वेरी नाइस. Yeah, absolutely right. In the chat, you all have found the right move. Let me see how many of you have. Goblet Fire, Cyber Dragon, Viji, Mr. Peculiar, Dharnidhar, Vivek, Dipesh, Sumit, Shivam, Savita Chess. The move is Queen h2 check, King takes, Rook g2 check, Rook h2, and a mate. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful queen sack. And this is the reason why actually it seems to me that Vantika managed to catch her opponent off guard here, and now she has to readjust and play rook g4. But now there are many ways to win. Maybe queen c6 is one way to pin this up. There's no threat actually in the position. Oh, there could be rook f7, king f7, queen h7, but then after king e8, I think after knight f8 coming in, black king is safe. It's running away. Blind swine mate, says Epic Phantom. Okay, got it. What is Vaishali doing against Stefanova? Okay, it's roughly around equal position, although Stefanova is pawn up, but Vaishali has her knight here well positioned. Okay, moving back to Shashi's game. Has Shashi managed to improve his position? What has happened is after king b4, he went rook c5. And now perhaps rook d1 was better. Maybe with the idea of rook d5. But he took ba, king a4. But in a way, this has spoiled the structure of white. Although white won a pawn, the problem now is that this structure is not so good. So he played this very good move, rook b1. Rook went back, check. Yeah, actually this, maybe he could have, I think Shashi could have played something better here. How about rook c7? So that if you go rook b1, then there is rook check, and you lose the rook. Ooh. So that rook c7 was a nice prophylaxis move. Rook h6 allowed rook b1. Here. King b3. 38 moves have been played. I think rook hc8 he will go, trying to put the rook on c3. I think after these two pawns have been exchanged for one pawn, I have more confidence in Sasikiran's position to hold this than it was before. By the way, Nihal Sarin has drawn his game. Let's wait here till the 40 moves are completed. There are 2 more moves to be made. Sasikiran has 20 seconds. And I don't know what he's thinking. Oh, he goes rook a8. Maybe now rook d2. That seems like a good idea. Also, rook b4 looks nice with the idea of a4. Rook d2. Then rook a5. Okay. Got it. So I think he will play. Yeah, he played rook b4. This, some of the Russian players are so good at technical chess, because the threat was rook c a5 to attack here, and now with rook b4 he's preparing a4. Phoenix Asimov says, is d5 possible anytime soon? Yeah, maybe, but d5 takes, and then you have to be careful. Your h4 pawn shouldn't fall. Going to be a tough game to hold for Sasikiran actually. He has 10 seconds left. Oof. He goes rook a5, but now of course a4. I think Esipenko doesn't even have to think about his move. He will play the move a4. Guys, sometimes you have to really dig deep and hold such positions, because if Sasikiran can hold this, he still has theoretically some chance of making it to the candidates tomorrow. I know it's not easy. It will be difficult, but because Caruana is on 7 already. Also, I think few more players have reached on 7 points. Like Oparin would reach there, and Yu Yangi might reach there. But still, I mean, he has to fight here. 40 moves have been completed. But I think with that, Sasikiran has almost landed in a lost rook endgame. You will see that the major thing is that the g2 weakness is no longer weak because no one is attacking it. And meanwhile, d6 is weak. A4 pawns and c4 pawns are coming down the board. So yeah, Yes, this is the penultimate round. Nihal's game we'll also check. It has already ended in a draw. So let's quickly check. Raunak Sadhwani lost very quickly today to Alexei Sarana. We'll also see where he went wrong. Arjun Erigaisi against David Navara. 40 moves just got over here. Arjun is exchange up. But these three pawns along with the queen and the bishop look dangerous. Pragnananda is playing against Boris Gelfand. And once again, 40 moves have just been completed here as well. Queen to f4. Many of you were saying that Pragg was better. Somewhere here. ba6, bishop a6, bishop a. You know, what's interesting is that Pragg has actually learned from Boris. Oh, queen f3 here. Queen e5 could have been better. You know, they had a training camp together. And now they're playing against each other. Queen h5, bishop c3, rook d6, bishop d4. And now actually it was Boris who started to get a winning position. And knight d7 was not a good move. But what is a good move is also difficult to say. The best move here was queen a8, which is such a tough move. Because you stop rook e8, you defend your rook, and you prepare bishop d4. Knight d7 turned out to be a mistake because of rook e8, queen f4. And now Pragg is thinking he has only one good move here at his disposal. Can you find what that move is, guys? Because, yeah, white to play. What is the only move? Very tough. Manan Goel says Vincent Kimar is such a devastating lad, is about Nihal now, 3 consecutive wins. Yeah, he's come back. In this tournament, if you score 2 or 3 wins at one go, you will easily move up. And by the way, Vincent is now 2-6-4-5. He beat Navara, Ivic, Navara, Ivic, and Alexienko. Too good. Meanwhile, Nihal Sarin's tournament is still going pretty strong. He would have gained around 11-12 ELO points here already. And drew with Fedoseev, which is not bad, you know, for Nihal. Unbeaten in this tournament is a great result. So let me see how many of you were able to get this. G3, I think, is not good. Weakens the king. Like I can see the mate in G3, queen f3 and queen d1. Rook e4 is another move which is being recommended. Rook a6, rook e7, h3, rook e2. No one wants to take on f8 though. Yeah, the right move is rook e4. Shlok, Ajay, Shivam, Peculiar, Mistadam, Sharthak. That's the right move. But g3 just doesn't work, right? Because check, queen g2 and queen d1. That is over already. Yeah, this is finish. The other option is what happens if you take, then I take with the knight, then you come here and let's say bishop e3, take, and this is now fine, you know, for black. Rook f2, bd6. So that is why the only right move is rook e4. And wherever the queen moves, like here, if the queen goes somewhere else, you can win the bishop. So if let's say queen d2, I can now play rook f8, knight f8 and rook e2. So that's not good. So you have to move your queen, let's say, to f5. Once again, I think rook e2 Makes a lot of sense. Rook e2, rook f8, queen f8. Yeah, rook e2 is now winning here. So instead of this, maybe queen f6, and then rook e6, and then queen f7, and then rook e7, and you keep on pursuing here and it's a draw. So most likely Pragg's game is going to end in a draw. Here Gukesh has beaten Kirill Georgiev. That is a very nice result. We'll check this game as well. Surya Ganguly is playing against Alexei Dreev and he is winning. Amazing. Surya, yesterday Alexei lost to Raunak. Today he's losing to Surya. So Alexei Dreev not having a great event. Goryachkina has beaten Artur's Nixons, which is amazing. Yeah, I think. What about Sethu? Hike Martirosyan, and Sethu is pawn down. It has 2 pawns down. Martirosyan's pawns going this way. What about Adhiban? How is Adhiban doing? Adhiban is still playing against Meshkov's Nikita, and seems like the game might end in a draw. So Adhiban not able to win, but okay, it's a tough event for him until now. Going back to the game of Esipenko versus Sasikiran. Oops, sorry. We saw here rook 5 a6. Mode is rook back. Now rook a2, rook b5, and then a5, and then king b4. It's very straightforward for white to play this position. Put your rook here, then put your rook on b5, king b4, a5, then put your rook on b6. I mean, bring your rook up, rook b6. While black has no counterplay. I mean, black can try for like king g5, king f4, king g3, try to put pressure here. But that's the best that you can do. No, Esipenko did not lose on time because 50 minutes will be added to his clock now. Yeah, Firouzja has managed to just get his king into the game. You see how he played after d4, bd2, bd3 takes, h4, g3. He brought his king over. And I think that's going to be all over. Worst case, you can just play b3, exchange this, king b3, and then the a4 pawn goes down the board. Vantika has won. Wow, that is fantastic. Thanks, Ankit, for that update. Just so that everyone's asking about results, so I'm just going to pull out the scoreboard here. Firstly, Alireza Firouzja is playing against David Howell. MVL drew with Fabiano Caruana. Oparin is winning against Vityugov. Yuyagi better against Shirov. Alexander Predke drew with Anton. Savian Samuel drew with Sargsyan. Sasikiran is losing to Esipenko. Harikrishna drew with Sjugirov. So this is in the open segment. In the women's segment right now, we have Harika. No, this is yesterday's. We have Harika drawing against Elizabeth Pates. Lei Tengyi, I think, has sealed the tournament with 1 round to spare. By drawing this game, she's the winner of the tournament. and she seals her spot for the candidates, which means that we'll have a Chinese player in the candidates. We have one Indian, Humpy. We have Anna Musishuk. We have Koschenyuk, Lagno, and Goryachkina. So actually, it's a lot of Russians. Yeah, Goryachkina, Koschenyuk, Lagno, three Russians. Then you have Humpy, one Indian, Le Tingyi, and Anna Muzichuk. Six players. I think two more spots still left. There. And just to finish off this women's results here, we have Vaishali playing Vantika 1, Padmini is playing Alina Danelian, and Divya beat Jessie February, which is a good result for Divya. Actually, even if you see Divya was playing on the last board, she's just losing 6 points, which means the tournament is so strong. Coming back to Sasikiran's game. VGS Pranit says if Firuzha qualifies for the candidates, does he have chance winning there? For sure. I mean, being world number 4 is definitely one of the favorites in the candidates. He might be one of uh, the one player who has a very good chance. Yeah, so the players who will finish in top 8 get a direct entry into Grand Prix. This is in the open segment, not in women's segment. And in the open segment, now I think there's still plenty to play for. Sasikiran, if he wins tomorrow, or Nihal, Harikrishna, anyone wins, do have chance to finish in top 8. I mean, the way I would continue here is Rook B5, King B4, A5, and so on, step by step. Lord Wish says, Sagar, do you think we'll have any Indian players soon in top 10 in the near future? Yeah, Vidit is on World 22. He's close. There's also all these youngsters moving up quickly. Nihal, Arjun, Gukesh, Pragg. So that is a good chance for them as well. Rook B8. Also very good. Very strong move. King B4, A5, maybe King B5, then Rook B6. It's actually quite a straightforward win, yeah, for white now. Yeah, guys, I think I'll. Oh, by the way, Adhiban has drawn his game. I want to see a few games as to how, like for example, how did Surya get a winning position? D4, knight f6, knight f3, d5, e6, e3, b6. Okay, very steady. That was a good pawn sacrifice. Even f4 would have been nice here by white. f3, 94. He could have also played king f2. Then rook king f2 is met with rook f e8. So he went here, here. Bishop h7, rook c6. Yeah, that's a very good conversion actually from Surya managed to, create some play, and here it's he managed to get a winning endgame. The reason why this is winning is because two pawns control these three. One is against one, and this is a passed pawn. So that's the reason. Bishop a6. Yeah, this is winning. This is winning for Surya. The winning plan could include bishop back, king c4, king c3, getting in here. Oh, let's also look at the game of Gukesh as to how he got an advantage. e4, knight f6, c4, e6. Both Surya and Gukesh won with black pieces, which is quite amazing. Queen a4, c4, c5. Yeah, the king is pushed back. Amazing. Knight came to d3. What a game. Amazing. This was a very good game by Gukesh. In fact, I think the move which was really very nice is knight f3 check here. Very well calculated. Also, if you take with the g pawn, then after queen g5, king here, e takes f3, it's already over. If you take back, I think easiest way is queen g4. And yeah, great game by Gukesh here to beat Kirill Georgiev, the experienced grandmaster. Sethuraman is now in a tough position. Played this. Yeah. So this should end in a draw, but some chances to play for a win for white. Pragnananda versus, yeah, they are actually, I think, drawing now after rook e4. He found it. Queen f6. Rook e6. So he's repeating the position. Pragg might draw against Boris Gelfand. Sarana beat Raunak again in the Ragozin. This was Raunak's game. This we saw at the start was Raunak's game. Yeah, I mean, check coming up. This is hanging. E7. It's all over. Nihal drew. Played a symmetrical line. I think Fedoseev tried to complicate and do as much as he could, but when your opponent plays the Najdorf, chances of it ending in a draw are very high. Sorry, Petrov, not Najdorf. This is a draw. Sasikiran is still playing. Yeah, but this is just lost. Yeah, so now a5, king b5, rook b6. What about Arjun game? Yeah, that's what you guys were saying. Arjun's game is what we missed. Seeing Arjun versus David Navara. It's a draw now. Yeah, it was quite scary at some point, but managed to hold it all together. And now I'll come here, I'll take this. That's going to be a draw. Arjun drew. Let's look at the women's games just to see what happened there. I think Vaishali is holding here in spite of being a pawn down. I think Harika should have tried a bit more. Like, I don't know what happened in her game. She went into this end game where she has 3-3 structure, opponent has 4-2. Bishop d5, so that's good. AB, because otherwise knight c7 was strong. Take. Oh, she took here. What if rook b1? What was the plan? So already getting quite nasty here. So take. Maybe if I take here, then it's trouble. So bishop a3, rook b1, rook b1, rook a3. And now an important move, bishop g2, attacking this pawn. If b6, then rook d1 with the idea of rook d6 and winning this. Yeah, with the back rank mate also in the offing. So yeah, this was Harika's chance actually. Harika took here. After this, yeah, she has still had some chances to win and convert, but She exchanged a lot of pieces, and very soon the game ended in a draw. What did Vantika do? How did she win? Vantika beat Buksa with black is actually quite amazing. Yeah, black has now this firm knight on e5, which is such a big asset in the Sicilian. Yeah, very cool play. Queen h4 is necessary or what? Can I play some other waiting move? There's no waiting move. Yeah, no rook can move. King h2 is met with knight f3, a4, ba4. Yeah. Vantika won this way. Yeah, Divya's knights are very strong. When Divya wins, she just plays for the crowd. Yeah, I feel. What about Padmini against Alina Danelian? Padmini is pressing a bit. Spawn up. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you with this game of Sasikiran versus Hari. Maybe there's some miracle that could still happen, but practically it doesn't seem feasible now to hold this game. I'm going to take a minute's break and I'll be back. 1 second. So, guys, let's do a roundup for today. I know that there are a few games still going on, but I think we should be able to at least give a small roundup. What do you think? Yeah, tomorrow it's going to come to an end. Grand Swiss been a long event, yeah. Okay, so let's begin with the roundup and let's try to see what happened here. So today was the penultimate round of the FIDE Grand Swiss, and there were several players who were on 6.5, three of them, and many players on 6 points. On the top board, Alireza Firuza is now completely winning his game against David Howell. And there were some crazy tactics in this game. One of the very beautiful moves that David Howell managed to find in deep time pressure was to play his queen to c6. And you cannot take the queen because of rook e1 checkmate. And that was a very nice tactic by David, but Alireza kept his cool, brought his bishop back, and eventually transposed into this endgame, which was better for him. MVL and Fabiano Caruana drew their game. Oparin won, so he's on 7 points now and has good chances to make it to the candidates. And this is the great thing about Grand Swiss. Certain players who might never get a chance to play in the candidates get it from here. We had Esipenko versus Sasikiran, and for a long time people were confused as to which game was Sasikiran's. There was also the game also got hung up a bit. It was the Sicilian Moscow variation, and both the players decided to play like no castling chess. Sasikiran put his king on f8, and Esipenko here put his king on d1. And it seemed like Sasikiran was doing fairly well in this position. He had some pressure, but where he went wrong was that in this position he could have gone b4, rook d4, or even just king f8. But he took on e1, and this eased out White's task for fighting for an advantage, because now the main thing is that White is going to play b3, king b2, and his queenside majority is easier to push without the bishop on the board. So this is exactly what happened. Esipenko won a pawn, and then slowly and steadily he has managed to improve his position substantially, and now I have a feeling that this is just over. So this game is still going on, but Esipenko will win this. Sasikiran has been playing really well, and if he wins tomorrow, maybe he can qualify for the top 8 spot for the Grand Prix selection. Harikrishna's game was against Sanan Sjugirov, and after roughly equalish position, knight h6 was played by Sanan, sacrificing a piece. Then eventually the game was drawn with a perpetual check. Nihal Sarin against Vladimir Fedoseev. It seemed like White had a small edge, but Nihal, as always, is so solid. He gave his opponent no real chances, and the game ended in a draw. In the final position, could have been that both sides could have played on, but they agreed to a draw here. We had the game between Alexei Sarana and Raunak Sadhwani, and in this position Raunak actually went wrong by taking on e5, and then after fe5 it seemed like his position was just too passive. White is just building it up, tripling down the f file, knight coming to c5. I mean, it was quite a smooth game for Sarana. And here, yeah, Queen d5 and e6. Raunak resigned. So not a great game. Arjun Erigaisi managed to hold his own against David Navara. I think somewhere it seemed like Arjun had some chances here. Maybe if he had gone a4, he could have been pushing, but he did not. And then eventually Black managed to exchange a few pieces. He was exchanged down, but it was not enough. And here players exchanged the queens and agreed to a fighting draw. So well played by both. We had the game between Pragnananda and Boris Gelfand, in which the game is going to end in a draw. But somewhere out of the opening, it seemed like Pragnananda had a very good position. Like here, I think Pragg was just pushing here. Take, queen takes. And now he played king, queen g3, knight h5. If he had found queen e5, he would have been better. He played queen f3. I mean, he would have been close to winning. But after this, his advantage kind of withered away. And here actually, if Gelfand had found queen a8, then he would have won the game. He's clearly better with two pieces for a rook, but Boris went knight d7 and after rook e8. Now the rook is pursuing the queen and they will most likely agree to a draw. Hike Martirosyan versus Sethuraman has ended in a draw. The position was somehow around slightly better for white, but Setu managed to fight on, and then in this rook endgame has this is a draw. In the end, the game ended in a I think it's still going on here, but most likely it should end in a draw, although some care has to be taken by Setu. Moving on, we had Gukesh winning his game against Kirill Georgiev. And I think Gukesh played a very solid opening and didn't give really his opponent too many chances. Pushed his pawn to c4, knight c5, knight b3, and he got his pieces like this with knight coming to d3. It's already very difficult because the bishop is quite passive, and then knight f3 check was very strong. Take, queen c4, fg2, and bishop takes, h2 coming up now. Take, rook d2, check. And Gukesh beat Kirill Georgiev with a scintillating attack. Meanwhile, Surya Ganguly also has managed to get a winning position against Alexei Dreev. Here the position is round about even till now, but yeah, here somehow Surya started to press and he managed to convert this into a pure bishop endgame, which was better for him. So Surya Ganguly beats Alexei Dreev. It's a big result. Adhiban's woes in the tournament continue. He was unable to find anything much in his game against Meshkov. Yeah, and the players agreed to a draw. Although Adhiban kept fighting, it was not enough. So, I think that is how all the games were in the open segment. Moving to the women's segment, here uh, Harika drew her game with Elizabeth Pates. It seemed like Harika was better, but was unable to convert it here. And in the end, the players agreed to a draw when the pawns were getting exchanged. A big result for India was Vantika Agrawal beating Natalia Buksa, and the position was once again kind of equalish. Vantika had played a very nice Sicilian, but now this move b4 wasn't the best. d5, and yeah, this is now just winning. There was a very nice tactic in the position which I would like to show you, and you need to guess as to what is the best move here. So in this position, why couldn't white take on f7? This is a question for you. Try to think and resume the video when you have already thought about it, because rook f7 is met with queen h2 and rook g2, and it's a checkmate. So rook g4, and now she took here, rook g1, knight e5. Yeah, this was just simple. And Vantika's great performance continues. She is now has gained 40 elo points in this tournament, and she is closing in on the 2370 mark, and also the IM norm she's got in this event. Next up is I think we saw 3 games. Padmini's game is still. Yeah, Divya Deshmukh managed to win her game against Jessie February. She got an extra pawn out of the opening, and she got she sacrificed a pawn. Actually, Divya is white here. She sacrificed a pawn, and then here bishop b5. She even sacrificed an exchange, but this is all about Divya. She loves to attack. She got her pieces in, and yeah, that's how Divya hunted the king and finally checkmated her opponent. Padmini Raut has roughly an even position here, although black is like Padmini is 2 pawns up. It seems like this configuration is just perfect for black to white to keep checking, and black does not have a way to get out of it. So it's a draw. So I think that was how the recap was. I don't know if I covered all the players or I missed someone. There are still some games going on. Most notably the game of Padmini on the screen right now, and also Vaishali against Antonetta Stefanova. Yeah, somehow the position was slightly different, but I think Stefanova was better pushing throughout the game, but Vaishali was very, very tenacious, and she managed to hold this to a draw. I mean, the game is still going on, but most likely this is going to And in a draw, it's a Philidor position. Okay, I'm going to end this, and also Sasikiran is losing his game right now. So that was the roundup. I hope you got a glimpse of what was happening. Sasikiran has a completely lost position right now. That would end any Indians' hope of making it to the candidates. But still, the top 8 spots I feel are still open for tomorrow. Someone can make it there. And you can see here the standings will come up, but I think Sasikiran, Hari, and Nihal still have some chance of making it to the top. Let's see how that goes. And also, Harika has a chance of finishing the top here. And also, Vantika, who's scored 6 points, she might finish in top 10. Although in women's section, there's no Grand Prix, but in men, if you finish in top 8, you get into the Grand Prix. Yeah, guys, I'll take your leave, and thank you all for following. See you all tomorrow for the final day, and I'll see you there. Bye bye.